Hello, and welcome to the Workforce Flathead Opportunity Fair. We are glad to have everyone joining us virtually. My name is Sarah Gomes with Job Service Kalispell, and I will be moderating this panel today. I would like to take a moment to point out that all of these webinars are being recorded and will be posted on workforceflathead.com, as well as Job Service Kalispell's YouTube channel. We will save some time at the end of this webinar to answer any questions you may have. So in the meantime, please submit your questions using the Q&A feature on your screen. At the end, we will share contact information again, and we'll leave that up for a few seconds in case anybody needs time to write it down. At this point, I am excited to introduce Joe Cola. He's here with us today to talk a little bit about what's going on over at First Interstate Bank and the amazing opportunities that they have available. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Sarah. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us today. It's a pleasure to be able to work with you.
And likewise, thank you very much.
So would you mind starting us off by giving us a feel for what your role is at First Interstate Bank and how you fit into the big picture for someone who might be coming in as a new hire?
I can indeed. I appreciate the opportunity here. I'll thank the Kalispell Chamber of Commerce and Flathead Valley Community College for the opportunity to talk today. This is an important component. There are some wars raging on several fronts in our industry, the most severe of which right now is a war on talent. And so to be able to talk at the Opportunity Fair from my role as a market president for First Interstate Bank is a really important one. My career, if I may, started on the teller line while going to college. I'm a Kalispell homegrown guy. I attended Flathead Valley Community College, and before I took the foundational business courses, I was an arts major at the college. And I found my way into First Interstate Bank really not wanting to leave Western Montana. And so after my time at FECC, I transferred down to the University of Montana, began my career as a teller, and two decades later have a chance to sit in my hometown at the corner of Center and Main Street, quite literally, as a president of the bank. And so it's been a very rewarding journey for me, and one that has required an ability to do a lot of different things. And that's really what I want to talk about in this presentation today. And by the way, if you have questions for me, Sarah, because I'll talk uninterrupted, you just jump in there and ask as necessary.
Thank you. I'll be sure to interrupt you if it comes down to it.
I appreciate that very much. You know, if you take a look around at any comings and goings of anyone you see on the street, it took me a while to kind of come to grips with this as a banker. Why banking? Well, why not banking? Everyone going somewhere right now outside of my office is carrying a bank in their pocket. And I say bank, it could be First Interstate Bank's debit card. It might be our friends up and down the street at other institutions. It might be Apple, it might be others. But we are at the bedrock of society in terms of how people do things. And once that idea kind of sinks in, it's a compelling career beyond just dollars and cents. I mean, we balance to the penny on the teller line and with documentation. We want people to keep check registers. We provide tools for knowing where you are in life. We really want people and their money to work better together. That's part of our mission and our vision. And so to that end, if you're a curious person and a problem solver, banking is an unbelievable career. Traditionally speaking, we like finance and accounting. No two ways about it. I mean, our core business is safeguarding people's hard-earned money and turning around and loaning it out into our communities where jobs are created, where a field was yesterday, perhaps someone's dream of owning their own shop comes to life. So it's an intangible type of endeavor, one with real tangible consequences. And again, ultimately rewarding. But we have other needs in the bank too. And this is really where, as a company, we've strived hard to provide better career maps than ever before. I mean, not only do we need bankers, but we need accountants, we need marketing people, we need technology people, we need HR professionals, and we need corporate facilities folks. And all of those jobs are available through the bank. We're proud of employing over 2,200 people across 6 states in the inland Northwest. Our roots are humble. We started in 1968 as a small bank in Sheridan, Wyoming, and we're headquartered in Billings, Montana. as a Montanan, I didn't want to leave necessarily the state, although I have jumped around in my career in a few different markets, all of which I benefited from. So when you're talking about opportunity in this regard, especially in business and in finance, as I understand is the section that I'm in, I would really encourage students to consider banking as a career. It's a career that, I mean, from the teller line to the CEO is a plausible path for the right person still, and one that respects certainly diversity amongst employees, but diversity in thought and diversity in backgrounds. We have some of the most successful careers I've ever seen, frankly, wouldn't be described as a prototypical banking career, but folks who have come into banking from other areas that know how to solve problems, talk with people, care about communities, and help improve lives. That's really what that comes down to. So again, I'm not sure if I think about even my own twin boys at 13, you say, what would you like to do in life? And it's, be on Nitro Circus or freestyle ski for my entire career. I think comparatively few younger people say banker, please. They say astronaut and veterinarian and doctor and those kind of things. But if you want to help improve lives, banking is a way to do that. And I often thought, well, what skill is transferable? Where would I like to live? And what can I do? Well, most towns have a few things: a post office, a church, a school, and a bank. And so if I wasn't going to be a bartender or a teacher or a pastor, I could be a banker, and I could go anywhere in the country. Good bankers are important people. We are marrying technology with a more analog way of doing business, and that's just fine. We want to stay relevant across multiple generations as a company. So again, I can't stress enough where the opportunities can take folks with a career in banking. If I bring that back to us as an organization, I can see that on our job board, so to speak, we have 118 postings right now across a 6-state footprint that I would argue is the best 6-state footprint in the country. I would argue that locally, our Flathead footprint is the best in our organization. I'm proud of it. And just waking up in the morning and going to work at our bank in Big Fork, for instance, when you see Flathead Lake, it makes you feel good about going to work, simply because of where it's located. And so we can't take that for granted at all. But we have all kinds of opportunities in our home loans department, certainly at the teller. Credit analysts do a lot of background work to be able to quantify why would a hotel be a good investment opportunity for not only a borrower, but for the bank. Credit analysts help run the numbers and keep things within policy and within good safety and soundness concerns. Toggling down through here, financial representative folks, facilities folks, client specialists, the list kind of goes on and on and on, Sarah. So don't think of it just as deposits and loans, but much, much more than that. We've got a great workforce and limitless opportunity. I'll take a question from you.
Wonderful. That was so much great information. You were on a roll. I didn't want to stop you. So first question here is, what locations are hiring?
We have positions here in the Valley, certainly on our teller side. Also in, we call it financial services representative. You might think of that as our new account side, where checking and savings accounts and the like are opened. But we have positions all across our 6 states. Those 6 states are Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and South Dakota.
Okay. Wow. There are a lot of options if somebody wanted to maybe relocate even then, huh?
Indeed. And in fact, I've been the beneficiary of working in 3 different markets. My career started in Missoula. Wanted to get back to the Flathead, and I did that in the mid 2000s. And then the phone rang, and it was a bank in Wyoming, which was a great career step at a time. This would have been 2011, and banking was hard then. Some of us remember the Great Recession. Maybe some have less of a working memory of it, but that's okay. At a time when a lot of good people were really struggling, here came another rung up the ladder, so to speak, for me to lead a team and help make a difference in a different state. opportunity came back to come back to my hometown. So I've been a little centric to Western Montana-ish and the Rockies, but if you want to work out on the coast of Oregon, we have banks out there.
But we don't mind them all staying right here in the Flathead Valley.
Right. We have metro opportunities that we just didn't have before. We have offices in Seattle and in Boise and in Portland would be our three kind of biggest cities, but Bend and Bozeman and kind of the other up and comers. We always need talented people. We can teach, by and large, the tools of banking. What is more difficult to teach are some of the innate qualities of human beings that want to help other human beings, that can do so with a sense of urgency, with a sense of compassion and humanity, and so to some extent a degree of seriousness too. It's just not all fun and games, but we really do strive to have fun and keep things light while solving big problems.
Wonderful. And I think I need to revisit a word that you used there, humanity.
Aha.
So it's not often that you hear people relate banking with humanity and really personalize that interaction there. So, because a lot of times people might feel like they're just another number at a bank, but you guys really focus on the customer service end then. So that would explain why you're bringing in the importance of those soft skills, which is really encouraging because a lot of people do have those soft skills. But what about those minimum qualifications beyond the soft skills?
Yeah, I'll take your question here in a moment, but I'll first address kind of the humanity piece like this. If you ever have a chance to, and maybe some of you have been at the closing table when you buy your first home, that is an opportunity for a banker that is, excuse me, I just rattled my own desk. That's very profound. And it's an honor and privilege to be there at someone's likely biggest financial decision of their life. That's one example. Another is seeing a person who has long dreamt of owning her own gallery or his own diesel shop. And when you come to the table with capital and belief in that dream, it's really profound. And that's kind of where the humanity aspect comes in from. Beyond the soft skills, we do stress communication skills. Certainly from a scholastic standpoint, accounting and finance are important, economics as well. The ability to communicate in a written way and verbally are really, really important, probably the most important. Again, we can teach how to calculate a loan payment. There's tools for that. But clear communication and those skills, especially writing, as I think about picking up through my time at FECC and certainly at the University of Montana, really served me well.
Wonderful. So just to clarify and nitpick a little bit further,
Sure.
Is a degree a minimum requirement for starting maybe as a teller or somewhere entry level?
It is not somewhere entry level. There are, we often see finance or accounting degree and or depending on experience. And I have worked with, especially on the commercial side, the business side is where I came up through the bank, a number of very successful commercial bankers with handsome careers that have come without that, but more through hard work, tenacity, persistence, and again, the ability to kind of see through problems for solutions. But I will say that some of our roles in our finance department, for instance, require accounting degrees. In our legal department, you need a law degree.
There are some things where it just seems like a given, huh?
Yeah, there are some things that are a given, but the lion's share of our workforce is an open workforce. And again, it's a career that if you want to think about sort of the corporate ladder, I don't like it for the impersonal sort of picture it conjures, but think of it that way. You can climb to really high heights with hard work.
That's an exciting opportunity right there,
Yeah.
knowing that you can learn along the way and grow with the company. So in my head, I would naturally assume that these are all going to be full-time year-round positions, but is there some seasonal hiring that you're doing because we get such an influx during the summer, or what are you looking at?
Yeah, good question, Sarah. Generally speaking, we're after full-time positions. There are times when we'll hire temporary help. In fact, one of the things that I think that maybe we could do a little bit better job of is thinking about internship opportunities, for instance, students in the summertime. That hasn't received enough attention, at least wise from my opinion. But we do have a management trainee program, for instance, where we will take a select few of up and coming employees and send them through a lot of different areas of the bank, let me put it that way. And then depending on strengths coming out of that, aim to permanently place those employees in that role of their dreams.
Wow, it all just sounds really exciting.
It is.
So
Yeah.
what's the best way to be prepared for the hiring or applying application process? Should I have my resume and my cover letter ready to go? Is there a separate application to fill out along the way? Do you hire on the spot?
Yep, we, well, through firstinterstatebank.com and About Us, you'll see the slide here at the end. Click into the careers tab. That'll take you to an external site we use for the application process. First of all, it's usually just awareness. So how do potential applicants come in? Some of those services like Indeed and whatnot are out there, but it's a relatively straightforward application. There's the ability to upload cover letters and resumes. I do read those. At the same point in time, a personal connection is also really good. And that might be the old-fashioned way of coming in and asking for me and saying, I have a resume. I'd like to talk to you about working here. That goes a long ways. That's a set apart act that I would say versus a more informal online application. But certainly that's the way to get it done. To get into the system, to get a name done. There are some things as a bank, you might imagine, we run background checks and those kind of things. And so the timetable often depends on a sense of urgency. But we move quickly to get good people in the organization.
What would you say is the minimum starting wage that an entry-level employee could look forward to?
Yeah, we're proud of the fact that despite required minimum wages, we start our tellers at $15 an hour. Proud of that. We have a slate of benefits that are second to none when you're full-time, generous. The company contributions to things like 401k and health insurance and the like are really industry best. And so we're proud of that benefits package as well.
Okay, well, I could go on over more questions here, but we are coming close to being at our time limit. So I just want to remind everybody that you can watch the recording of this panel and all of our other panels at workforceflathead.com and on Job Service Kalispell's YouTube channel. And we'd like to thank you, Joe, for attending this webinar and taking the time to talk with us today.
My pleasure, Sarah. Thanks for hosting. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for attending. Have a great day. And we'll go ahead and share your contact information again as we close so that everybody can capture that.
Thanks again.
Have a good
Sarah.
day.
Thanks so much. You bet.
Thanks.
Bye.